Now, from this point on, going down the rep, we will be looking at the timeline that takes us from the present day all the way down to the formation of Earth. So the present day talks about the moment in time now, the greatest innovation of modern humans, the greatest achievement so far in everything that we have done. The timeline will actually take us through the events that had happened through, all the way looking at the emergence of Homo sapiens, which is the species that we are today. So if we look at our timeline, it says the emergence of Homo sapiens is 190,000 to 200,000 years old. But think of the timeline as a 12-hour clock. If we were to put down the Earth's beginning by 12 o'clock midnight, then the emergence of Homo sapiens would have been 2 seconds old. The greatest thing about it is that we've been described as an intelligent species, Homo sapien. Our intelligence becomes only 2 seconds intelligence so far. Looking at the whole evolution process of apes to hominins to Homo sapiens, we put into detail in the timeline as to how everything might have happened. If we look at Africa as the birthplace of humanity, we have Sahelanthropus chadensis as the oldest half-human, half-ape species to be traced, dated back to 7 million. After the Sahelanthropus chadensis, we have to look at Lucy as an Australopithecus afarensis discovered in Ethiopia. And then we have to look at the out-of-Africa hypothesis. How do we get to populate the world modernly if we say that Africa is the birthplace? In our timeline, we are highlighting one of the events that happened 2.7 million years as the reason as to why some of our ancestors had to move out of Africa to Europe and Asia. We then also had to look at name changes of species such as Homo egastus that originated in Africa. When they moved out of Africa to places like Europe and Asia, they became fully bipedal species. And then there was a name change of Homo erectus. We will be talking Homo neanderthalensis, the Homo heidelbergensis species, which will be highlighted as European Asian species when we had the whole evolution process taking over of Homo sapiens in Africa. One of the theories of the plates tectonic movements, which is surprisingly getting more recognition worldwide, is the whole concept of Pangaea breaking down into Gondwana and Laurasia over time. Even our timeline here is actually highlighting Gondwana split that happened over time when we had the separation of the 5 continents well known as South America, Africa, subcontinent, India, Australia, as well as Optica. But the greatest movement of all would always be India, moving from the east coast of Africa, moving all the way up onto Asia, creating the Himalayas and pushing dry air into Africa. And that's how savanna grasses were born, and our rainforests have been lost. So continuously, if we look at the concept of the plates tectonic movement, we still can prove that our continents are drifting at least 1 to 2 centimeters every single year. One of the greatest events that the world have experienced becomes a meteor that happened about 2 billion years back. To South Africa, it becomes a World Heritage Site named Vredefort Dome. The gold layers of the Witwatersrand Range has been formed way back, but had it not been for this meteor ejaculation, possibly we might have never found gold in South Africa. The meteor happened about 2 billion years back. The last event actually becomes the beginning of the events, which is actually the formation of Earth. But instead of reading through the event itself, we will take a journey of discovery through the boat ride, and we can take an experience through it.